I'm Sarah Knight, and welcome to It's Got Pockets, where just like finding the surprise pockets in your favourite trousers, I'm bringing you perfect pockets of joy and realness. Every week, I'm having unfiltered conversations with women who crack the feck on, even when life gets proper lifey. Women with experience, expertise and wisdom. Because sometimes the best stories start in the middle. Women who've been there, done that, and they're still figuring it out. Join me for real talk, useful tactics, and all the swears in between that make your life and business feel that bit more manageable. Well, hello. Welcome back to It's Got Pockets. I bloody love doing this podcast. I hope you love listening to it as much as I love recording it and doing it. But this episode has got me thinking all about mental load, the emotional load. What do you call it? How do you even describe it? Is it something you think about all the time? You know, it's really got me thinking after the weekend I've had, which is absolutely fantastic. Depending on when you're listening, we've just been through the first bank holiday weekend in May in the UK. And I've been all about the invisible effort, the stuff that no one claps but always falls entirely on you, the stuff that no one else appears to see. Obviously, apart from the other women in your tribe and the other women that you talk to and the other women that hear about it and the other women that are doing it, because we're doing it all the time. Are we doing it unconsciously? Are we doing it consciously? Are we doing it resentfully? But it's that unspoken acknowledgement that we have with each other that we're doing it all, we're thinking about it all, we're guiding it all. And then our partners, our husbands, don't fucking notice. And actually, there's people talking about it. Caitlin Moran wrote a brilliant article that I'm going to talk about in a minute in the Sunday Times this weekend, talking about Stacey Solomon. And Paloma Faith, heroine of the Times, has been naming it in public. But you know, I've been bloody living it this weekend in my own garden. I was getting ready this weekend for our fabulous annual garden gathering, I call it. I don't like to call it a party, because if I call it a party, that makes people think that it's going to go on all night and there's a hard finish. Well, ish. But, you know, if we start at 4, I like everyone to bugger off about midnight, because then I can get some sleep. And it's a bit of a tradition. We sort of mask it and pretend it's my daughter's 23rd birthday party. But really, it's just an opportunity to have all our friends who are like family round and have a good time. There's a barbecue, there's a music set by my husband, he's a musician. Again, a pretend nod to the 23-year-old's birthday, and a day with people who frankly feel like family. And we have a bloody brilliant time, and the sun usually shines, which is brilliant. But what got me thinking is, it's not a day off for me. It's logistics meets lifestyle meets emotional load. And don't get me wrong, I bloody love doing it and I wouldn't have it any other way. This is where we need to make the decisions about what is the emotional load that we take on. I love getting it all together, actually. I love it all coming together and I love it looking lovely. I want my garden to look lovely when everyone comes round. So Sunday morning, I'm up early, I'm sorting the garden. The day before, I'd organised the window cleaners because, embarrassingly, we live in a bit of a Victorian project and the windows have only been cleaned once in the 3 years that we've lived here. So I did get the windows cleaned. I know, first world problems and all that. And I also got the patio jet wash, because that's something that, again, I normally do, but I suddenly realised I don't have fucking time to do it. So I got someone else to do it this time. And there I am, also running a business and, you know, life cracking on, life going on. On Saturday, I went up to see my mum and dad, went out for a little mooch with my mum, went shopping, bought all the stuff for the barbecue, buying all the things that were needed, all the plastic plates, thinking about all the food that we were going to have, thinking about the salads that I wanted to create. You know, dealing with all the text messages coming in, dealing with the fact that my son, age 19, has lost his car keys, both car keys, not just one car key, both car keys, and at least one of them is somewhere on Formby Beach. So yeah, just that little thing that also needs sorting. And then, of course, I've thrown in some house renovation too, because I like to make sure that I've got as much on my plate as possible. So coordinating the man this last week to lay the floor in the front room, that's an entirely different story in its own right. Sunday arrives and I'm up mega early. I'm planning, I'm prepping. Yes, I am in the garden fluffing the garden cushions, you know, because that's the job that I want to do. I'm making breakfast for my daughter's friends who are up. My daughter's gone off to work. She works at United, so she's gone off there for the day. I'm bringing my mum and dad in because in the morning before the barbecue in the afternoon, we're also going to United Women's proper football and taking my mum and dad to their first match at Old Trafford. and also supporting my daughter who's going on the pitch at half time with the girls that she coaches. So, a bit of a big moment for us all. And we have a blinking brilliant time. Of course, I've booked the taxi for us to get there. The husband just asks me in the morning what the plan is. A plan I crafted days ago, probably at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then refined it at 5 o'clock in the morning, and refined it again at 6 o'clock in the morning, so I could fit everything in on Sunday. I've booked the taxis. We watch the match. It's brilliant. I've then decided that we're going to leave a little bit earlier so we can get mum and dad out, so we can get a taxi early, so we can get back. We leave the ground early to get a taxi, and of course the taxi cancels us 3 times. Meanwhile, the husband is literally standing over my shoulder. He's also 6'4", so he finds it very easy to stand over my shoulder, watching the map like he's got the stress of when the fucking taxi's turning up. I get home, I make a brew for mum and dad, pack them off. I sort the coals. I separate the barbecue trays because the daughter's celiac, so I'm not allowed to cross contamination. I put the oven on, I put the potatoes in, I slap some makeup on, and I start prepping the salads. I love prepping salads for the barbecue. That is the thing that I really love doing. Of course, then I pop out into the garden, make sure all the cushions are looking good. Salads made, condiments out, drinks fridge stocked, plates set. One of my friends rings me, is there anything you need? I suddenly realise that we've not got any forks, so she picks forks up for me. Another friend picks some milk up for me because I suddenly realised we might not have enough milk the next day. Meanwhile, the husband, sitting in the living room, watching television. I did sort of lose my shit at that point and remind him, possibly a little bit sarcastically, that we did have people arriving in fucking 15 minutes. And suddenly he's setting up his guitar, he's setting up his amps, he's setting up his music. That's his contribution to the day. I lit the barbecue. I start cooking the food. I sort everything. Everyone arrives. And of course, when they arrive, they rave about how brilliant my husband is, because he is brilliant. He's an absolutely brilliant musician, and it's a really key part of the day. But for the love of Jesus, Mary, and all the orphans, really? His contribution was nothing. All the planning, all the prep, all the emotional load, all the decision making, all the guiding. I'd done that. And some of it I'd done because I want to do it, and I want the day to go to perfection, because then what happens is that when I've sorted all that stuff out, and then obviously I pour myself a very large glass of rosé at about 5 o'clock, then I just enjoy the day. And it's not all hard. But actually, the planning, the preparation, the emotional load, the stuff that goes into it, as well as sorting out all the things that we're doing on the Sunday morning, it's lots. It's loads of stuff that isn't even occurring to him. Today, I'm a little bit knackered. And of course, yesterday, then we had the clean up, which I did. And he did help. Absolutely did help. But then we had a meal last night, and I've ordered Gusto because I was so fucking sick. People saying, what's for tea every single night? So I know we'll get a meal prep delivery service, because then if we get a meal prep delivery service, no one can ask me for what's for tea every night, because there's a recipe card there and everyone can make it. But oh no, the husband's rolling his eyes at that, because apparently it takes too long to prepare the Gusto meals and he doesn't want to do it on Bank Holiday Monday. So then I do it. So in the book of cooking that he doesn't want to do, I stand up and I'm a little bit pissed off by this point. So I then do the cooking. He does the rice. He suggests we cook together. And this is what mental load looks like. I mean, this is a small snapshot of it, and some of it is really nice stuff. But it's every single day. It's day in, day out. You want to scream. Does he not even see that? I know the husband doesn't see it. He doesn't see the planning, the always on, the constant shifting to get shit done. He doesn't even think about the planning. And when he does think about the planning, it's about 3 minutes before everything needs to be actioned. Caitlin Moran said it best in the Times this weekend. She said watching Stacey Solomon's new reality show really triggered her. Not because Stacey isn't fab, but because what we're watching isn't a cute family lifestyle. We're watching a really brilliantly capable woman cracking on, doing it all, juggling under the weight of logistics and her millions of squillions of children, as well as managing to put glittering labels on jars as well. I'm actually quite in awe of her. While her husband, who is also lovely, just meanders through life, not even thinking about why it's so easy. The reason it's so easy is because we're doing it all, because Stacey Solomon's doing it all. Stacey is doing what so many of us do all the time. She's making the chaos look effortless. Her husband gets clapped for showing up. She's managing 5 kids, is it? Birthday parties, food allergies, house makeovers, a camera crew. And we're meant to find that adorable and cute. Is anyone else just going, oh my God, look at all the stuff that she's doing? Because it's exhausting and it's all too bloody familiar. This is what cognitive overload looks like. This is why we've lost our desire. This is why we've lost our energy. In the UK women average 36 hours a week on housework and caregiving. Men average 18. We're juggling it all. We're losing our emotional peace. We want to share the load, but here's the thing. We don't want to have to ask for it. And then maybe if it was shared a bit better, we'd have the energy for all the things. We might even have the energy for that prod in the back when we're starting to think about sleep. Maybe. Probably not, actually, because also we're perimenopausal and menopausal and desire is somewhere in the Sahara now. But I read the other day that we haven't married partners, we've inherited sons. And my question, the thing that I'm thinking about, is how do I educate my son differently? How do I do things differently now so it counts for my son and my daughter as they're coming through life? The mental load isn't just about doing it. It's the thinking about doing it. It's carrying the admin in our heads 24/7. Who needs what, when it needs doing, who's going to get upset if you forget, who's going to get offended, what you can do about that situation, what needs planning for this weekend, for next weekend, for the work conference that you've got coming up, for the work that you're fitting in between all the other stuff. I'm like, oh my God, today I've got to do this for work. Oh yes, but I've also got to sort this thing out. I've got to pay that money. I've got to sort that accommodation out. I've got to make sure that shopping's in. All this, it burns through our inner edge. That edge we need for clarity, for calm, for creativity, for bloody peace. And it vanishes under the weight of us remembering everything for everyone, for us holding the sky up, for fixing everything. Our nervous system isn't getting a look in because we never ever fully switch off. And even when we do delegate, we're having to manage the stuff in delegation as well. And this is the line that really boils my piss. Well, if you want something doing, just ask. The darling husband does say this rather a lot. But the thing is, I don't want to have to ask. I don't want to project manage my own support. I don't want to have to gently cajole someone into action when, frankly, it's just faster, easier, and simpler if I do it myself. But that right there, that's the trap. That's the difference. Because when I show up with the salads, the playlists, the separate tray for the gluten-free food, and the fluffing of the bloody garden cushions, I'm not just creating the atmosphere, the vibe, I'm holding the entire emotional ecosystem. And that costs something. But here's the really tough thing that I'm wrestling with. It's the bit I also love doing. There's such a duality in all these emotions. But if you're listening to this and you're nodding her along like your neck's about to snap off, here's your reminder. You are not broken. There's a reason you have no energy. It's because you're carrying too much invisible weight. That fire, that thing that's a little bit of a spark there that you're trying to reignite, that you've been saving for when there's time, it's being smothered constantly under the task lists, the thinking of the task lists, and all those mental gymnastics that's going on all the time. And the work is for us to figure this shit out. Not to do it all, but maybe to start letting go of some of it. And the big question that we need to ask ourselves is, what can we let go of that you can trust someone else to pick up? My sister-in-law did a spreadsheet of all the cleaning. She didn't just say clean the bathroom. She actually did a spreadsheet of every single little thing that was involved in the cleaning of it. It took her ages to do. And then she sat down with her husband and they divvied up the spreadsheet, and it's working for them. Would that work for me? No, it wouldn't work for me. But actually, it's really working for them. So what is it that I can do to make things easy for myself? Maybe what you can do is write it all down, make the list, and then you choose, because this is about your choice, what you're going to let go of, because no one else can make that decision for us. Maybe it's about you naming that one piece of the mental load that's not yours anymore, that you're not taking responsibility for, and then saying it out loud, and then sticking to it. And then doing one of three things: dropping it, deleting it, delegating it, or demanding help. I say demanding help, asking for help, leaning in. And then when that guilt kicks in, when you start thinking about it, how do you put those boundaries in place? How do you remind yourself that you've already done more than enough? You don't need to earn your rest. Repeat after me. You don't need to earn your rest. You don't need to perform your rest. This is how you reclaim your energy, your edge. Maybe it's about us starting to unlearn some stuff, unlearning our expectations of perfection and performance. And maybe it's about us doing some things differently. What that is, I'm still debating it. We're going to debate it for a long time yet. But it also, for me, starts with boundaries. What you protect, where you flex, and what is a non-negotiable. Because when we turn clarity into boundaries, when we turn capability into leverage, when we turn emotional load into emotional relief, things change. We find our fire, we reignite that spark, we find our energy again, and we crack on. It's not just about walking into the room with the people around us and us all having a massive rant about the fact that no one sees our emotional load. How do we do it differently? It's not on us to hold the sky up. What is on us is to decide what is acceptable, what is enjoyable, and what we're going to do about it. I'm going to leave that with you today. Take care, have a good week, and let something go to give yourself a little bit of emotional peace. See you soon. Ta-ra. As we button up another episode of It's Got Pockets, remember that just like that perfect dress with hidden storage, you've got pockets of potential. You can be exactly who you are meant to be with no one getting in your way, not even yourself. Just remember, you're not done yet. That plan B or plan C might be waiting for you. If you've enjoyed this episode and would like to work with me, or simply want to connect, come and find me at sarahknightconsultancy.co.uk. On Instagram, I'm Ministry of Midlife, or on LinkedIn, you'll find me as Nighty S. See you next time.